Hi everyone, welcome back to Instagram Live with Intimate Rose. I will be joined today by pelvic health physical therapist Kiana Berry. She will be joining us any minute now, and we are going to be discussing all things pelvic pain. And she is on a intrepid journey all over the world this summer. So she's going to let us know where she's at. And while she's getting logged in, if you all have questions, don't hesitate to write them in the comments. Hi, Kiana.
Hi,
How
how are
are
you?
you?
Very good. I was just laughing about this journey around the world. So, yes, very good.
Yes. Where are you now?
Okay, so I actually just came from Costa Rica and I'm about to get right back on a ship to Bahamas. And from there, Paris, Switzerland, Spain, Japan, I'm going everywhere.
Those are all beautiful places and all totally different and unique.
Yes.
Paris is perhaps one of my most favorite places, and I actually studied abroad in Spain. Um, did you list Spain as one of your
Yes.
places?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yes,
Hmm.
I was in Barcelona, and it's stunning, and the food is amazing, and the culture is incredible.
Oh,
So you are going to
I can't imagine. I'm on Duolingo as we speak, trying to learn some words.
the funny thing about northern Spain is they actually speak an entirely different language. It's got a lot.
Really?
Yes, they speak Spanish too, which is the national language of Spain. But in northern Spain, they have a different dialect of that.
Okay,
So, but they will answer you in Spanish or English. So,
got it, got it. Maybe I should just play it safe. I'll have to text you later, get more information about that.
yes, you're gonna love it. So we connected because you have a tremendous passion, not only as a pelvic health provider, but you've also, like me, been the patient on the table. Do you want to start by telling us what's your favorite thing to treat in pelvic health? What do you love?
Oh, my favorite thing to treat would probably be vaginismus or vulvodynia. And to kind of explain what that is, usually there's a difficulty in pain with penetration, and there's some fear and apprehension involved. And I think I love it so much because it's one of the things that I had to deal with, and it's such a fulfilling thing for someone to be able to conquer that. So yeah, I love being able to help women get to that point because it's such a wonderful, fulfilling moment for both of us. Mhm.
Absolutely. And both of those diagnoses can require a lot of years of testing before they finally make their way to pelvic health therapy, which is very frustrating for the patient. So, having more practitioners like yourself that are trained
Yeah.
up and recognizing it and spreading the word so that patients can get access to care is so crucial. So, I'm so thankful for all the creative work that you do in content, because that's oftentimes the first time people are hearing about it, or understanding
Exactly.
that that might be them instead of, well, I don't know what to tell you. Your imaging looks good or your labs look fine.
Yes. Yeah. And it's so frustrating because a lot of women are told, oh, whenever you have a baby or after you hit menopause, then you'll probably have to deal with those things. So there's a lot of ignorance out there. And women, oftentimes, they're told or they think, oh, I'm just broken. Like maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe there's nothing that I can do. And it's really important. That's why I made VG Plus Me to get that word out there to let people know, no, there's actually a name to this. And this is something that you can be treated for and have a thriving, wonderful life and not have to deal with that at all. So that's one of my biggest passions is just getting education. I'm an educator at heart. So offering women the education that they need to be able to empower themselves.
I love that so much. And you are such a terrific educator. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your journey into becoming a pelvic health provider?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love telling this story because I started as an orthopedic physical therapist and I started practicing. I have a background in orthopedics, pain science, aquatics, pediatrics, and I just never got around to dipping my toe into pelvic floor because I loved what I did. And then I met my now husband. And when we met, I decided that I was going to wait to take that step in intimacy. We're both doctors. We're both in the medical field. We're like, okay, we'll wait. And whenever the time came, I was not expecting it to be full of pain and dysfunction at all. I was floored. And I set off on a journey to figure out, okay, how do I fix this? Like, I have skills on one hand, but there's also pelvic floor physical therapy that I haven't dove into. So I dove into it, and I was able to really empower myself with information and freedom and pain-free intimacy. And now it's my passion to be able to help other women get to that point so they don't have to suffer in silence anymore.
I love that so
Mhm.
much. I love how you said, I didn't get around to doing pelvic health. It's not something that one generally does get around to
Yes,
do.
it's not actually. And I just love how many other pelvic floor therapists there are now that I didn't even really know about it before. And I was in school studying to be a physical therapist. And I always knew it was something I would be interested in, but I didn't know how passionate I would be and how involved I would be in it now. So I'm really thankful for it, and I know that I'm privileged to have these skills and have this voice to be able to speak to other people for it because I went through it.
Absolutely. And the way that life goes, I found too, is that as you know, whatever happens to us as providers, if we can turn it around and use it for good, it gives us a sense of humility too, because I came to pelvic health physical therapy after a traumatic injury and then became a
Um,
mother, which brought a whole new set of issues to help manage. And I also felt really privileged to have that skill set. And then with surgeries and things like that, it's just any opportunity to use that information for good so that other people don't have to put up with it for as long and that they feel that sense of hope because they see
yeah.
us side of it. And I think that's most people in pelvic health have had some reason or other to have to manage their own battles and take the training so that they can help others, which I think makes us a really special group of providers,
Yeah.
egotistically speaking.
Yeah. And that's fine too, because we are empowered with a lot of skill that not many people even know exist. And that is special.
Yes. What is your general treatment philosophy for those two diagnoses that you listed? So thinking about vaginismus and vestibulodynia and vulvodynia, what does that treatment paradigm tend to look like?
Yeah.
Granted, it's a little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. And one thing that I love talking about when it comes to pelvic floor physical therapy is that pelvic floor physical therapy is holistic healthcare. It's a holistic approach. And I always try to like remind people how connected we are when it comes to our pelvic floor. It's connected to everything. Your every part of your body is connected from your feet to your jaw. Your posture can affect it negatively or positively. Your nervous system will affect it. It's connected to your emotions, how you process emotions, how you experience emotions. Every physical breath you take is connected to your pelvic floor. All your bathroom habits. When you're stressed, your pelvic floor is stressed as well. Your pelvic floor is part of an intimate activity that's so intimate, every human being participates in it. So it's very connected to our day-to-day lives. Yet, it's one of the most silenced, avoided, ignored, and sometimes hated part of a woman's experience. And so I always start with that caveat first before we dive into, okay, now let's go through the disorders. Because when you have knowledge and you're empowered with information about it first, the nuance starts to form, right? And you start to realize how it's not just one part of your body that you can kind of push to the side, it's a part of you. And that's how I begin my approach to actually treating the disorders first. Now, I have also a background in orthopedics and pain science as well. And pain science is also another part of physical therapy that's really making its path on the community. And when we combine all of these approaches, the physical, the neurological, emotional, and then you add the pelvic floor strategies, you have a really holistic approach. And not one of my clients are the same. Everyone's very different. They have different backgrounds, different experiences, and they have a different language that they speak, not like a different like English or Spanish. They have a different language of how their body takes in information as well. So every single client of mine is different. But that holistic approach, when we begin with information, empowering somebody, is where I begin first and foremost. I like how you said that there's hope in this, because oftentimes what's contributed to vaginismus, vulvodynia, vestibulodynia is hopelessness. And when you insert hope and knowledge, you now have a path that's beginning to form. And my clients, I think that when they can take a little bit more control over their own bodies, they get to feel empowered as well. And my biggest thing is, I want you to not need me. I want to be that person that has the pom poms and sees you thriving. I want you to get to a point where you don't need me at all. You can just text me and say hi instead of I need help. So that's the biggest part. I want to give you information so that you can now use it, and you won't have to come into a room or on Zoom and talk to me anymore. So that's part of my approach first with that.
I
Mhm.
love it so much. And having an orthopedic background is so
Yeah.
imperative and so important, because it allows you to look at what's happening up the chain and down the chain, and also solid manual skills on the hip and
Yeah.
on the back, which are so tightly connected. I still do so much manual work on the hips. Like I'm like sweating after some of my
Every time.
yeah, I it was really funny the other day. I was with a patient and mobilizing her hip, and I was like, I need to get stronger again.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's such an important skill set to have, and oftentimes does get missed, is addressing that orthopedic component. Um, and I love what you said about each patient having their own language. We so hear it when we're talking to them about their goals, and
Yeah.
being able to utilize their phrases
Yeah.
so that and create a concept and an understanding about their anatomy and their physiology and how their brain is connected to their pelvic floor
Yeah.
is so important. And using the words they hear often tells us so much about how they're feeling about the
Yeah.
situation. Like if they are like angry words, or if they are like fearful words, that helps us to better understand the situation as well. And I think that's where the growth of pain science has been so incredible.
Oh
There's
yeah.
amazing work being done to give us better language to help reconceptualize
Hmm.
what what they're experiencing, and remove some of that fear.
Yes, exactly. And I call myself a PT nerd. I'm a little PT nerd. So anytime I find a new approach to something that's evidence-based and that works, I always jump on it. And when I can take that information, and just like the language part, you have to be able to change it to fit another person's language and how they understand information. And that's why, I love working with people. And I'm a people person, and I honestly think that when it comes to treating pelvic floor disorders, it's so incredibly intimate. And so you also have to build that trust as well, and that's why it's so important to be able to change your language to fit your clients as well.
Absolutely. And you recently have done some really fun videos using our rose wands.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a bit about your favorite intimate rose tools and how you
Yes.
wind them into a holistic?
I have my little purple baggie.
Ah,
Yes, I keep this next to my office, and because I love to pull it out my little friend. My favorite Intimate Rose product. I'm biased because I love the pelvic wand so much. I think it's the most efficient. It's so versatile, and it gives my hand a break as well. But yeah, I love the pelvic wand. I also have the dilator as well, but the pelvic wand for me and my clients specifically, it's kind of like an extension of them. You know, it becomes their trusted tool. Everyone has their own little toolkit. You have your free tools, which are your fingers, but this tool can become an extension of you. And I always recommend it to my clients because they always say, "Man, I'm getting a hand cramp and I'm feeling a little bit discouraged." I'm like, "Well, let me send you over to get one of these." And there's different types as well. I always just go say, "Hey, try the purple one first, try the straight one." And some of my clients, they go a little crazy, like, "Wait, but there's this and there's this color and this color."
So
Oh
many
yeah,
colors.
yeah, there's so many colors. Like, I want to collect them all. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But yeah, so I always recommend the pelvic wand, just because it's so efficient and versatile. And oftentimes my clients, they're like, always get a little bit intimidated. They're like, "Well," but after a while they're like, "I love it." So, so that's my favorite one. And I've seen so many of my clients' lives change after they use it as well. And it becomes they're less fearful, honestly. A lot of times we're afraid of down there. And I always tell people, listen, you can birth a baby from that. You may have like a menstrual cycle every month that you have to deal with. It's hardy. It can handle a lot. So don't be afraid of doing that. And after they realize, "Oh yeah, you're right," and all that fear kind of melts away. And then they buy all the colors. So yeah.
I love it. And it's so true. And the paradigm that we always use is that we're not being forceful with the wand. Tomato touch principles. So the same amount of pressure that you'd use to check a tomato for ripeness is the same that we're using to do
Yes.
myofascial release. And this is an extension of the hand. It allows you to reach into the deeper aspects that a person truly cannot reach, and that even us as therapists are changing body positions and whatnot to access when we're providing treatment. So
Mhm.
extension of the hand, always being gentle. Yes, it is a very hardy part of that body. And I think saying that too makes it less of this like broken, fragile thing.
Yes. Yes, especially when it comes to any type of difficulty with penetration. Um, I often tell people, like, remember, you can dilate. It's flexible and strong. It needs to be both. And if it's not both, that's whenever you have some barriers. And so that kind of allows some people to kind of calm down, like, okay, this makes sense. I'm going to confront, you know, down there. And honestly, I try to like remind people that, make friends, become friends with yourself down there. That's you. Oftentimes we say, "Oh, it's her, I just can't stand that girl right there. What are you doing down there?
Oh,
What's going on?" But I always say, you need to make friends, because a relationship is a two-way street, and there's some pain both ways. Let's forgive each other. Let's have like a middle ground. And I always try to remind everyone that, your vaginal health, your pelvic floor is you, but it's also crying out for, just like you are as well, right? So give her a big hug, or him a big hug. Okay. Mm.
I agree wholeheartedly. When I hear secondary language about it being separate or people being angry with that part
Yeah.
of it, I to remind them gently, it's not trying to ruin your day. It's just telling you it needs a little extra
Mm.
TLC. I have a friend who's an educator, and she likens child behavior to a wet, soggy potato chip is better than no potato chip. And that's when like a child acts out because they need attention. And
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
for parts of the body that are giving these signals that they need some attention. It's not
Hmm.
necessarily that they are trying to ruin your day. It's just
Yes.
you giving you that signal that it's time to get some a little attention and intervention there. So I love that you said that.
Hmm. Yeah, and same thing when it comes to using the pelvic wand, because even if you're doing it gently, there's some areas or trigger points that may not respond gently. They may cry out, and oftentimes whenever we feel that crying out, we're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let's not touch it at all. Let's just close the door and forget that happened." But I always say, "Okay, it's crying out because you found the spot. You found the area that's causing the issue. You need to address it. Just like if you find an issue or you find, if there's something in your teeth, you're not going to say, oh, let me just cover my mouth. No, you can address it. You can address it. And so like, oh, okay, that's where the pain science comes into play as well. So it's so interconnected. And I think that when you have a little bit better body awareness, you can also feel a lot happier as well, a little bit more connected, a little bit more in control instead of the other way around.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a very empowering paradigm.
Mhm.
I love
It is. It
it. What
is.
else would you like people to know
About my, say it
about
again,
your
about my
practice, about your pelvic?
practice.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So yeah, VG plus me. I VG vagina plus me. And honestly, I really made it as a one-stop shop for women who really just want to learn about their bodies and want to reach their personal goals, because that's really important. I don't want people to come on my page and being confused. I want you to have a goal in mind and let's reach that goal. And I cater a lot to women who aren't just suffering for vaginismus, but also urinary urge incontinence, of course, just general pain, hip pain, pelvic pain, back pain, rib pain. Some women who want to have children or have had children and still have some trouble down there, or in general. um, I do a lot of preventative care as well. I am I did wait for marriage. I am a spiritual person, and I actually get a lot of people on my page who are waiting for marriage, who've decided that. And it's okay if you're not, it's okay if you are. And oftentimes they come say, hey, I want to prevent anything from happening. I want to go into this not having to heal from it. And so I do a lot of preventative care as well. And I do a lot of educational seminars to women of different ages, different races, different backgrounds, and different cultures, because it's one thing that can span across every culture, every ethnicity, every background. Everyone has a pelvic floor, men and women. And so I do a lot of speaking engagements, education. I do treat people one on one. I do have a waiting list right now. So if you are interested, go ahead and DM me, or you can DM Amanda if you want to connect with me, and we can start with that. Mhm.
I love that so much. That's really special and a tremendous gift. And having that ability to do some like prophylactic preventative care,
Yes.
I think calms the whole system down because it gives a sense of, like you said, control and expectations
Yes.
and mind and the body and the spirit as well.
Exactly. I have some clients who are like, I'm just going to buy the Intimate Rose stuff first before I even get there. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And they're using that before they even become intimate, so that they feel empowered and they enjoy it. They're not worrying about anything. They have a little bit more control over that. It's not as, there's no nervousness. And I find it so funny because I get a lot of to be brides, And they're like, yeah, I got this. Okay, I'm gonna work on it. I am so excited. And and it's just there's so much joy in it. It's not a fearful thing. It's such an empowering, joyful experience for them to be able to take hold of their pelvic floor, prepare for this, feel like they're um, starting on a new journey, a new life journey, a new chapter. And it's so full of happiness and joy instead of nervousness, anxiety, stress. I try to take that away because we want to celebrate our bodies, you know? And I think that when people take that step, that preventative measure, they have a little bit more control. They have a little bit less weight on their shoulders. They feel excited. They get in touch with their sexual side, and which is also a huge part of it as well. It's not just physical, A plus B equals C. There's also that sexual side that needs to be introduced as well. And I really try to encourage my clients to, hey, open up that sexual side as well, or I'll refer them to a sex therapist. And because that's another part of life. That's the human experience. You don't want to feel silence in that as well.
It's absolutely part of being a person. And I love that we here at Intimate Rose can be part of that journey that
Mhm.
totally made my day. I'm so happy.
Good, good. You made my day.
That's amazing. And you mentioned that you have a website. What is the website? Where can people locate you?
Okay, so right now I'm working on my website, but you can locate me on Instagram, VG plus me, and it's VGPlusme, exactly how it sounds. And right now I'm solely working on that. I'm still launching the website and that part. I'm also going to launch a podcast as well. So you caught
Oh,
me at the very beginning of my journey. I'm so excited to have you a part of it as well.
I love all of that. I would love to come on and talk to you on your podcast and just get to
Yes, I would love to do that. Good. Perfect. You'll be the first one to know.
perfect. I love it so much. So, for those that would like to work with Kiana one on one, you can DM either one of us and we'll get you connected and just continue to keep your eye on her. We're going to be checking in with her as she travels the globe. Where in the world is Kiana with her wand?
Yep, with my wand and my pelvis.
And her,
I keep it wherever I
oh,
go.
oh, she's in the journey. She can be separate. That is a separate
Yeah,
pelvis.
this could be separate. We'll just bring this. But yeah, so I have my little baggie here. It's gonna be in my suitcase everywhere I go. We're going to be in Paris. I'm avoiding the Olympics because it's going to be pretty crazy. But hey, maybe you'll find me in the Louvre next to the Mona Lisa, and I'll have like this, like next to my face. But yeah, we'll be all around. I'm going to be making a lot of content, a lot of education, and stay tuned because I'm going to be doing some lives in these different countries as well to answer any questions as well. Mhm.
I love that. And it's also a valid point of traveling with the tools is not a problem going
Yes.
through security. I travel with them all the time. You're taking them all over the globe.
Hmm.
If anyone stops and asks, you just tell them it's a
It's a
massage tool.
massager. It's an extension of you.
That,
And I think that a lot of my clients as well think that once they're done, they don't need it anymore. But remember, you have a whole life ahead of you, and you also have to bring your pelvic floor with you for that life. So this needs to stay on that journey as well. And it is an extension of you. Even though I do have pain-free intimacy, I use this sometimes. If I am, or I have a client who had conquered that part, but then they get a UTI and they're having a little bit of tension, and they're like, "Oh no, did I go backwards? Did I regress?" No, you just have to give yourself a little more TLC, get that thing back, use it. It's an extension of you, and you can keep it with you forever if you want. That's why I like this because it's so versatile. So yeah, this goes with me wherever I go. And my husband, he's like, "Oh, did you bring your wand?" I'm like, "Of course, yes, I did."
he is trained.
He really is. He is. And he's like, oh yeah, I told some of my patients about it as well. I'm like, oh, good job. Because he's a physician. So I'm like, good job. Go refer them to somebody. And he's like, I did that. I did it. I am trained.
I love that
Hmm.
so much. Oh, that makes me so happy. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Oh yeah, yeah. I trained him well. No,
Good
I'm
job.
just kidding.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us while you're on your journey. Thank you for sharing your education, your amazing, unique, creative content. I love it so much. I love the content you create, and you're just such a joyful, sweet
Thank
person. So I
you. Thank you, Amanda. I can't wait to meet you in person next year in Houston, right?
yes, we will be there in Houston. I know we're gonna have such a blast.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm so excited.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we will check in with you when you reach a new continent.
Hmm.
Brush up on your Spanish. Eat at Cafe Marley in Paris.
Okay.
It is
Make,
phenomenal.
make sure to text me that because I'm a foodie too. So I'm gonna be all over the world eating my way through as well.
There's no bad meal in Paris. There's no bad meal in Barcelona either.
Okay,
You are going to be eating well.
good. I am so excited, honestly.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we will see you very soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Amanda.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.